where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where the clear stream of reason hasn't lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit, into that heaven of freedom. Father, let my country awake. Respected judges and my dear fellow contestants, I'm here to speak about the topic, relevance of legislation in student politics. What Rabindranath Tagore spoke about in Gitanjali is an apt description of an idealistic and honorable student leader who was capable to have our country awakened into that heaven of freedom that it is truly capable of becoming. We are famous for our grassroots politics, which has made Herculean strides for the betterment of society. And nothing is more grassroots than students. We are also famous for our nationalist leaders who are the shapers of the freedom struggle and post-independence India, who themselves came up as student leaders. But the very purpose of student politics is not just to create leaders of tomorrow, but also to create leaders of today who are socially and politically aware and who knows the pulse of the society and who will work selflessly and tirelessly for its betterment. One thing that we should be responsible for is that we should make sure that we do not bring up an apolitical generation who do not have any sense or opinion about what is going on around them, the issues that are important to the people, and who cannot stand up for their own rights or for the rights of the oppressed around them. This is where the importance of legislation to protect student unions and student organizations come in. India, especially the educated and liberal class of India, are very fast in lauding and crowning the students who come together chanting Azadi in millions, protesting against draconian communal laws. At the same time, with the slightest mishap, it's just the slightest mishap or any unfortunate incident that will make us come up with an outcry to ban these organizations. What we need to understand is that the solution for a headache is not decapitation. But at the same time, nobody is saying that we should live with that headache. This is where the discourse about a balanced legislation should come up. We need a balanced legislation which would protect the student organizations against the whims and fancies of an administration and a corrupt management. At the same time, we need a legislation which would protect the society from the fringe elements of student unions and organizations. This is where we should come up with a well-thought-out, balanced approach to legislation. The Kerala High Court recently appraised the government and asked them to come up with legislation to manage the student unions in the state, because every party included in this issue knows that banning student unions is not the solution. It would be catastrophic, to say the least, in a society that is as volatile as ours. What we need to understand is that it is the student unions of our country which fought from the forefront, and that too with what protection? We are a country in which the national premier institutions itself are grappling with the issues of caste-based discrimination, crony capitalism, with profit-making motives which are in turn again driven by machismo factors of money and power. In such situations, only student representation can be that democratic check which would prevent these excesses. We are a country where 50% are under the age of 25, and it is imperative that there should be a binding, protective legal system which becomes the means for them to voice their needs. Only if there is such a legislation can all the pillars of democracy come together and protect and make sure that the rights of students are not chipped away, and there is nothing that is detrimental to their right to raise their voice against the corrupt management systems which support dissent more than fairness or justice. Every famous movement in India, be the non-corporation movement, civil disobedience movement, or in the international stage, the feminist movement, civil rights movement, LGBTQ rights movement, or in India, the anti-CAA protest, the Lokpal movement, everything had students leading from the forefront. They were creating history without the protection of law. They were literally putting their life on the line, and that too for what? For being labelled as anti-nationals and jailed with barbaric and draconian laws like the UAPA? This is where we need laws, because it is our responsibility that we protect these students with the entire congregated might of law that would stand behind them like a tower, protecting them against an aristocratic fascist government and corrupt administration, because these students are our future, these students are our hope, and these students are the light which will take us out of the dark times that we live in today. Thank you.